How they're working.
Don't look at me, it's awesome.
Mummy, I like all of them.
Waterfront at Portsmouth. Commentary.
I'm not going up on the floors, you know that, don't you?
There's Victory. That's Mary Rose Museum there.
Front door back, is it? We Which is the bow, which is the stern? Is it put two bows and two sterns?
That building there's a submarine escape training facility. Warrior, first ever ironclad battleship. Victory.
Now the ship down the bottom there, the Benguela Stream, is a geese-line banana boat, and she's unloading her fruit at the MMD. Mainland is the second biggest importer of fresh fruit and veg in the UK, the second only to London. Portsmouth imports 65 to 70% of all the fresh bananas. They've got jars of like dead things that they've collected, and they think it's hilarious. They go, like, no, I hate that. That's what they do now. They start the ripening process off of the fruit there. What we got here, Normandy. She just, I can never say this. Is it Wiesram? It's near Caen. Portsmouth. Is it Wiesram? But that's where she's come across from today, near Caen. Now they come across from Cherbourg, Le Havre, Saint Malo, Normandy, Bilbao and Santander in Spain. So quite a good selection of destinations really. Now look at the destroyer opposite. Look at the funnels. 3 funnels. Because HMS Bristol there was the only Bristol class destroyer. And they had actually put 3 prototype Rolls-Royce gas turbine engines in it. That's why the 3 funnels. In fact, they were the Olympus, you know, what went into Concorde later? They were trying those engines. Now, not long after her service life started, her steam, her boiler room exploded. This happened twice in years of life. But they ran the ship for about 3 years on the gas turbines alone. Then they repaired it. Hong Kong Guard ship for a while, escort destroyer to the carriers in the Falklands War. With the engines all gone now and in their place, more sleeping quarters, a small cinema and classrooms. It's a training and accommodation ship for the hundreds of cadets passing through that great building. The local people were horrified. They feared messages, homing pigeon logs. These little pigeons bring messages back from France from people like the SOE. Now folks, for a change, look over the port side, the left-hand side there. In the middle of those two destroyers across there, sandwiched between the bows, you're going to see HMS Victory. So you'll be able to see the most modern warships in the world, £1 billion, and the £63,176 worth of the Victory. In today's money, that's 55 million, or the equivalent of us building an aircraft carrier. Because when they built the Victory, it was a first-rate ship, the best possible ship you could build in that day. Unbelievably, just to build her alone, they had to cut down 100 acres of prime forest, and they used 6,000 bricks. She becomes famous 30 years after her launch, flagship to Admiral Lord Horatio Nelson, a 104 gunner at the Battle of Trafalgar. Now, they have been in battle long when she tangles up with the redoubtable French ship. But he can't just have sailed off to England, he has sailed over like puppets. This is where the ship's surgeon comes in. He puts Nelson's body into a wine barrel. He pours a barrel of brandy at the top of it. The intention, literally, is to pickle the body. When they get back to England, 3 months later, he lifts off that lid, but it actually done quite a decent job of preservation. So he takes the body out of the brandy, even amputation. Most of them to take off the whole body. There was no anaesthetic for those people. They got a bit of wood to lie down on. Two or three of their mates pinned them down while they saw their legs. Unbelievably, at the end of that battle, out of the 119, it was only 6 people who later pass on. It was considered a marvellous to have had that sort of successfully, if you can take into account the filthy, dirty people this man had to operate in the boat. Right, we've had permission to cross the harbour. Just before we do, off to the right here is Hasler Creek. Hasler Creek used to be HMS Dolphin, the Royal Navy's base. You see that square tower down there with the windows? It's a 100-foot deep swimming pool. Submariners had to come here every 3 years. You entered at the bottom through an airlock. No breathing apparatus or life saving. They flooded you, and then with one breath, you swam slowly to the top, exhaling all the way. This was you simulating you just escaped from a submarine trapped on the seabed. Now, nice view out here at Solent, but there's the whole world beating its way into South Sea Beach. There's my boss's boat, look, so the cat is coming off the swash. They're all bringing back the hippies from the Isle of Wight Festival. Just over on the right here, absolutely steeped in maritime history, that's Spice Island. That's where Sir Walter Raleigh had landed the first tobacco and the first potatoes. That's where the spice ships from the Caribbean unloaded herbs and spices. Hundreds of men and boys were press ganged into the Navy from there. Most of them never survived the 5 brutal years of service they had to give. Well folks, this is it, I'm afraid. This is Gunwharf Quay. This is the end of the little harbour tour for us today. If you'd like to just make sure you've got all your bits and pieces with you, thanks very much indeed for coming along with us. We hope you've enjoyed our little tour, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this, miserable old afternoon, really, here at the Gunwharf. Please be very careful. slept in